what is up, guys? This is TS Football Broadcast. I'm here back with another video. Hell yeah, I actually got enthusiasm now. I tried making this video last night. No, it was terrible, so I was just like, screw that. I'll make it tomorrow morning. It's 1 o'clock, so not quite the morning. Had a very busy morning. It was, whew. You guys do not want to hear about my morning. You guys want to hear about football. Specifically, Week 5, XFL Sunday. Also, maybe a studio change. Yeah, hand motions. Going into this game, I had a couple of questions. Can the Battlehawks continue being good? And can the defenders throw it back to Week 2? So, the defenders opened up with the ball. Cardale Jones looked uncomfortable. He ran on first. They ran on 1st and 15. I mean, Presley got nailed after getting a couple. And then Jones on a 3rd and 11 just missed. Like, let's say the receiver was right here, and his ball was way off screen. It was terribly missed. He looked really skittish overall. Now, Jordan Taiamu opened the game on missing a long shot to Washington. Like, Washington had just a step or two on the defender. Misses it. Should have had it. Well, should have is probably... I don't know if should have or could have had it. I don't know which one of those words is more fitting for that. But anyway, short pass on 2nd down, and then 3rd down, the defender's pass rush just completely killed the Battlehawks O-line and sacked Taiamu and then they were forced to punt, obviously. The defender's second possession didn't go a whole lot better outside of an Eli Rogers jet sweep for a 1st down. And then Cardale Jones on the run, underthrows the ball, and gets intercepted by Kenny Robinson, which leads to his benching. I don't want to root against Cardale Jones going back on the field next week, but he's not the guy right now. He needs to go get his confidence back. Like, maybe throw some flats and some blowout win or blowout loss to flat, some drag routes, maybe a slant or two. I mean, short slants, obviously. I don't really think he should be airing the ball out too much if he ever does come back in. Because it's his confidence. I mean, physically, we know he can do it. It's just, that four interception game just killed his confidence, and now he's like, ooh, hit rock bottom in terms of playing well. I will talk about who he's replaced by after I go over a few more things. The Battlehawks ran Matt Jones straight down the gut for 21. The defender's run defense's point is like my cat's litter box. It stinks and needs to be changed. Oddly enough, I did change it like after the game, which is kind of fitting. Then Christian Michael got him into the red zone. Raheem Moore stuff. He completely stuffed the screen pass, which led to a Russolino field goal. So it's 3-0 Battlehawks. Now, Cardale Jones was ultimately benched for Tyree Jackson. Tyree Jackson is a physical beast. I mean, this dude's like 6'7", cannon arm. I mean, can run. I mean, he's physically really gifted. I think he's really raw is kind of what I got out of him. Like, he's kind of mobile. He's really big. He's got a decent arm. I mean, I think his problem is he's raw. And I think the XFL, if he does continue to start, will be an awesome opportunity to watch him grow. I think he can kind of have a little bit of Jordan Taiamu growth occur because he's roughly the same age, I believe. Anyway, so as for the defenders, first drive with Tyree Jackson as quarterback. Presley opened with back-to-back 1st down runs, and Tyree Jackson ultimately hit Carly on a perfect touchdown throw. It was an RPO. It was well done, but the 1-point conversion was no good. Now the defenders, at this point in the game, were leaving Washington open. They were playing like a soft zone type deal. It was a huge pass catch. I mean, and then False Stars just ended up killing the drive from there on out, making Russolino kick another field goal, which was good. So 6-6 all. And then Agodosi blocked a punt, which got St. Louis in great field position, some penalty yards. Then they got really close to field goal range, like this close to field goal range. And then penalties just killed them. and they went 3-and-out and punted, and halftime ultimately was 6-6. Now going to the second half, I'm like, okay, I question both quarterbacks. Can Jackson throw it more, / down the field, / just in general get some throws off? And will Te'amu, settle down and get some more throwing or running or whatever going? Because the first half, Battlehawks just weren't getting it going. So the Battlehawks opened with the ball. They had a 2-yard run. Anu sacked him. Te'amu ran it. He got most of the yards. It was 4th and 5 punt. It was that wasn't bad given how bad the situation was. Anyway, jet sweep for Tompkins. The defenders opened with a jet sweep by Tompkins for a big gain. Jackson on a fake runs out of bounds and saves himself from getting sacked. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, gets out of bounds. Is that's smart. That was a good, smart move by him. Not trying to go get the extra 2 yards, and the defender zigging, zagging, injuring him for 6 weeks or something. So I thought that was a really smart move by Jackson. Now holding pushed him back to 1st and 20 though. Pumphrey's got completely killed, and then the screen was killed by Terrence Cavan. And then a Presley dump off just got him into field goal range to make Rossley kick a 52-yarder, which was good to make it 9-6 defenders. Te'amu goes for first down throw. Michael gets him in the field goal range. They ultimately fizzle out, and then they miss the kick. Russolino, how could you? You broke my heart. That actually did kind of break my heart on that kick. It was really sad. Anyway, St. Louis started to struggle from there on out. They kind of failed at tackling. Presley hopped over. He got a huge gain. Defenders capitalized with another field goal. And then Te'amu had a really good throw down the third quarter. It's Te'amu to Deion Washington. Deep shot. It was inbounds, and it was just dropped in like a bucket. Okay, this light's really bad. It was dropped in like a bucket, and it was brilliant. It was like let's say this is Deion Washington's hands, and this is the ball. It's perfect. Also, I really need a screen right here so I can be okay, so on this play he did that, he zigged, and then he zagged, and then he caught it, and then it was good. I really do need a screen for this. I believe it would help the viewing experience. Anyway, so the end of the third quarter was 12-6 defenders. And then Matt Jones almost broke it for a touchdown. But they were stuffed on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. And yeah, that led to a turnover on downs. Anyway, the beer snakes fused into one plastic cup snake, which was awesome. I just love the how that looked on TV. Anyway, Tyree Jackson, the keeper, got first down, and the defense just stood. The defenses just were like, "You shall not pass or run," and the game finished 15-6, final for the DC defenders. Yeah, I think the reason St. Louis lost was because they didn't capitalize. End of half, I think the false start killed them. I can say, okay, if they hadn't had the false start, they would have gotten a field goal going into half. If they had missed that other field goal, it would have been 12. It could have been 12-12. And then if that was the case, they probably would have kicked the field goal, make it 15-15 on that 4th down conversion thing because they had to go for a touchdown. So I thought the Battlehawks just made a few mistakes and it costed them. They did outgain the defenders pretty handily, 319 yards to 256. Battlehawks 25% on 3rd down, defenders 33%. They actually converted the exact same amount. It's just Battlehawks were in 3rd down situations a lot more. Battlehawks 4th downs 0-2, red zone 0-3. I think that's another thing that cost them was they were not good in the red zone. Oddly enough, because St. Louis is known for the running, the defenders outgained them 229 to 173, which I was kind of surprised because the Battlehawks were running it pretty well for good stretches of the game. In terms of turnovers, it was a pretty turnover-free game. Battlehawks had 0. Defenders had 1. Now, as for the quarterbacks, it was not such a clean game as they were beat to death, as I will illustrate when I talk about some defensive stats. And let's get into the Battlehawks first. Matt Jones had 13 carries, 70 yards. Christian Michael had 12 for 69. Teamu had 5 for 31. He went 15 25, 174 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Pretty pedestrian performance on the stat sheet, and I think that kind of fits how it was during the game. Just a few opportunities. If a few things had gone differently, I think it would have been a good game for him. But it just, yeah, I mean, the false starts, I mean, that just kind of killed all their good plays, really. It's kind of similar to a Guardians game in that respect. I also think they didn't run enough RPOs, but given how the defenders are doing on defense, it's like, I can see. So they took like their best anyway, because I did not see a whole lot of RPOs, and I think that's another thing that hurt the Battlehawks. In terms of receiving yards, Leon Washington got 5 for 114. Russell had 3 for 27. So yeah, not a whole lot of great receiving stats. But Garvin, who I talked about, had 16 combined tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. I was impressed when I saw it. I'm like, 16? That's pretty impressive in my book. Will Hill had 12, 3 quarterback hits, and 2 tackles for a loss. He was pretty disruptive. Robinson had the sole sack. He had a quarterback hit, attack for a loss, an interception, and a pass defense, which is pretty cool. Wow, I'm still tired, and it's like 1 o'clock. As for the DC defenders, Jacob Presley had 15 attempts for 107 yards. Donnell Pumphrey had 15 attempts for 37 yards. Tyree had 7 for 32. DeAndre Tompkins had 1 for 28. Eli Rogers 2 for 25, and Cardale Jones 1 for 0. Cardale Jones also went 0 for 2, 0 touchdowns, 0 yards, 1 pick, with a quarterback rating of 0. Tyree Jackson went 9 of 14 for 39 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Now, I think Tyree Jackson did just enough to win. You know, his mobility helped him. I didn't think he needed to do a whole lot, so I'm like, from a stat standpoint, that probably doesn't look great, but it's like, he didn't need to be spectacular to win this game. He just needed to game manage, which is what those numbers are, game manager numbers. Now, as for receiving yards, as a result, the receiving stats were honestly really low. 3 receptions, 14 yards for Kari Lee. Jacob Press had 3 for 12, and Rocket Richard Ross had 2 for 11. So, yeah, not perfect. As for the DC defenders, Kinnell had 10 combined tackles. Celestine had 1 tackle for a loss. Raheem Moore had 1 pass defense. Anu had 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 forced fumble. Thomas had 1 tackle for a loss. Anthony Johnson, who came over from the Wildcats week 1, had a really awesome game, proving again that this trade was awesome. 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, 1 tackle for a loss. Barnes had 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for a loss. Lawrence had 1 pass defense. Sprinkle reemerged with 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, and a tackle for a loss. And Freeman did a quarterback hit. Yeah. Outside of muddling my words, that was pretty good. All right, now let's get into the game where I changed it up again because this game was frankly just not the best. So I did this differently than I did the Guardian. Well, it was the best in terms of offense, but I was on and off sleeping during parts of the game too. It's like I stayed up. I was up during the end, but I was like, you know what I mean? It's like it's just kind of oof. So I did this differently than I've done any other game. I broke it down by Vipers offense, Vipers defense, Wildcats offense, and Wildcats defense is kind of a whole game analysis, like kind of summed up really quick. So I want you guys to let me know what you think of this versus how I normally do it and how I did yesterday with the Guardians Renegades game. I don't know if I'm going to do this again unless it's another late game because I'm not good about staying up late. It's like, you know, it's like, it's not something I'm good at. Conversely, I can wake up really early, though, and then I don't make the video till 1. Anyway, let's get right into it. Try new things. Let's go. Vipers offense was awesome in the first half. They moved the ball at will. Taylor Cornelius looked comfortable and confident. Keys Patrick was smashing it in for a touchdown. I mean, Taylor ran 1-2 on a fake, which was pretty cool. He got the 2-point conversion on a pass. Second half, I think the pressure got to him. I mean, Cornelius' first pick was into quadruple coverage. It's a bad read. The big man just ran off it. It was pretty awesome. His fumble, I mean, the pocket broke down just too quickly. I mean, he's in the middle of throwing. If his pocket had been even a fraction better, it would have been a throwaway or a completed pass, I think. His second pick, I think his receiver ran the wrong route or didn't turn his head around fast enough, and that's what caused the pick. I believe it was a miscue on the receiver, not Taylor Cornelius, ultimately. Granted, I'm also a little biased because I kind of want to see Taylor Cornelius and the Vipers succeed. Not Mark Trestman, though. I'm not huge on Mark Trestman. Vipers defense, I mean, the secondary was awful after the first possession. After the first possession, I mean, they just didn't know how to play. I mean, they got burned all day by Josh Johnson and his gaggle of tight ends and receivers, as I will say. I mean, he got 4 touchdowns on them. They missed a lot of tackles. They weren't generating consistent pressure. It just wasn't good showing by the Vipers defense. Now, the Wildcats offense, after a rocky start, was pass-heavy firework fest. I mean, it worked out well for him. I mean, scoreboard will obviously tell you that. The tight ends leaping over defensive backs definitely helped Johnson a lot, as 2 of his touchdowns were on that. The tight ends overall really helped the Wildcats offense succeed and get them going, and I think they bailed out Johnson a little bit because there were some throws where I could have seen a defender go like, whoop, oh, just kidding, you're picked. But ultimately, he did throw a decent ball, and that's what won them the game, obviously. It was a shootout, and it was a very beautiful shootout for the parts that I was awake for. Anyway, Wildcats defense. Jack Toko had another great game, as he was probably my favorite Wildcats player. He's probably one of the best defenders in the league. I don't think he gets enough talk. He is awesome. I mean, the Wildcats altogether, though, they didn't generate pressure very well. I mean, they were awesome with turnover luck, though. It's kind of another thing that I think got them. They tackled a lot better in the second half, though. The first tackle, and there was some really shoddy tackling, so I was like, oh my God. Like, Vic Fangio, the Broncos head coach, would have, like, lost his crap if he was coaching, because that's how bad the tackling was. All right, now I'm going to give you some stats. The Vipers had 434 yards to the Wildcats 335. The Vipers went 36% on third down. Wildcats went 50%. They all did also converted the exact same out, 5 for 14, 5 for 10 respectively. The Vipers got the one fourth down of the game. I'd hope they got the one first down. God, that'd be really terrible. Red zone was another difference, as the Vipers went 3 for 6 and the Wildcats went 5 for 5. Vipers, as usual, had a stout rushing attack. 142 yards, 257. They actually were almost even in net passing yards. 292 to 288. Now, the gross passing yards were 300 to 288. So, yeah, the Wildcats lost no yards passing. And that's what I was kind of talking about. I'm like, pass pressure was... Oof. And anyway, on the Vipers went for all their attempts from the 1-point attempt. They went 4 for 4. The Wildcats went 3 for 6, got 1 point, 2 points. They went for 2.4 times, though, and the 1 point twice. All right, is there anything else I feel like I need to say before getting into... is the Vipers had 3 turnovers, the Wildcats had 4. So this is just kind of a big play game, I think is the best way to describe it. Big play game. I think this game was really good. It's kind of a pity it was so late. I mean, if this game was like at 5 o'clock, I could have been eating my chicken wings, being like, yeah, and like throwing my chicken wings at the TV every time something bad happened or something ridiculous. Anyway, stat-wise, Smith finished for the Vipers. Smith finished the leading rusher with 24 carries, 69 yards. Taylor Cornelius had 7 for 45 and a touchdown. Jaquez Patrick had 7 for 23 and a touchdown. And then some guy named Folson had 2 for 5. Anyway, Taylor Cornelius went 22 of 34, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. As I illustrated earlier, one of those picks was not his fault, and the fumble was also not his fault. Well, it's kind of his fault on the fumble. The one pick, I think the receiver just completely miscued, and he just couldn't really. It was just like, are you kidding me, man? Like, I would say if I was going to accurately have this, it'd be 1.5 interceptions because I think it's half his fault, half his receiver's fault, ultimately. Anyway, this was big game for yards for receivers. Tolliver, 495 and 4 receptions, 95 yards and a touchdown. I don't think it was Raheem Horn. Whatever. R. Horn, 9 receptions, 90 yards and a touchdown. Derek Williams had 5 for 86. Jaquise Patrick got 1 for 21. Nick Truesdale got shut down 2 for 13. I don't know how they shut down Nick Truesdale, but good job. Branch had pass defense. Kelly had pass defense. Whitlock had 2 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for a loss. Hanman had 1 pass defense. Banks had 1 quarterback hit. Bowman had 1 tackle for a loss. Brewster had 1 pass defense, or 1 interception, 2 pass defenses. Mount, okay, that's a great name. My name is Mount. He had 1 pass defense, or 1 quarterback hit, and Neal had 1 quarterback hit. In addition to this, Branch led the team with 7 tackles. It's a little low, which I think demonstrates me saying they had shoddy tackling. Now, as for the LA Wildcats, who really should not be playing in Carson from how their stadium looked, Josh Johnson led the team in rushing with 7 attempts for 19 yards. Blacknall had 1 for 16. Carter had 5 for 15. Harris had 9 for 7 and a touchdown. Va had 1 for none. Like I said, they didn't rush the ball very effectively or a whole lot. Because Johnson went 20 of 36, 288 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. And that 1 pick was on the opening drive. So outside that, he was completely amazing. Now, Jordan Smallwood led the team with 4 receptions, 86 yards. Blacknall had 3 for 78 and a tutty. Trey McBride had 3 for 35 and a tutty. Barnes had 3 for 26 and a tutty. Hampton had 2 for 14 and a tutty. Defensively, though, oh boy, Dixon had 10 tackles. Smith, probably not Will Smith, had 2 tackles for a loss, 2 pass defenses. Roberts had 2 tackles for a loss. Reed had 1 sack, 2 quarterback hit, 1 pass defense, or 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 forced fumble. Toko, as I mentioned, had 1 interception, 1 pass defense. Jack Toko, yeah! Love me some Jack Toko. I don't think that's Thomas Jones. Had 2 tackles for a loss. Sorry, guys. I've been playing old man. I've been thinking about 2007. So whenever I see T. Jones, I automatically think Thomas Jones. Ochi had 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for a loss. Copeland had 1 quarterback hit. Henderson, I don't think that's his name, but he had 1 quarterback hit, number 90. Howard, the big man, Howard, had 1 interception, 1 pass defense. That's the one I was talking about right there in the quad coverage for him. Anyway, guys, that is the XFL Week 5 Sunday recaps. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Oh, Twitter in the description below. Have a nice day, and goodbye for real.